Well, good evening all. It's good to have you all back. I am going to resume where I left off, 420 BC, turn 152. So if you remember from last time, we took on Copenhagen and we took it over with a fair amount of resistance, but we did pretty well. So we are going to finish off Denmark. I think that's probably going to be the first port of call. There's no point keeping Denmark alive at this point. We own his capital. We've attacked him. He's not going to be particularly happy with us if we keep him alive. And yeah, it's not worth keeping alive. So we're going to take Aarhus. Now, the biggest problems that I can remember on this game were the happiness and the gold. Now, both are struggling a little bit at the moment, and that is primarily because we went on somewhat of a rapid expansion from last time. So you can see we've got a new settler here. Now he was on his way to go and set up a new city over here somewhere, which is only going to knock our happiness down more. So what I'm thinking is that we've got a little bit of unhappiness from Copenhagen at the moment, but that's a puppet state. That's not going to get any worse. Now, happiness, I think, is going to be our biggest problem to solve quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to take over Aarhus. We're going to burn it to the ground because there's no point keeping it at this precise moment while we've got unhappiness. We'll set this city up. It'll be as bad as it's going to get, and then we can start to build some colosseums and do a bit of trading to get ourselves back up. Now, let's continue this attack. So we're just going to take on these barbarians quickly, see if we can pinch ourselves a worker. Here we go. So let's get the spearmen to come down here. This great general can go and join in. Here we go. And the rest of my army, as it heals, is going to make its way over to the next battle, which is going to be over at Aarhus, which is fine. So let's just check this triume. We're just continuing to explore the coast. It's always good because we'll get ourselves a little bit of gold and all that, which is great. Now we're going to have to end our turn in its lands, but we can survive that. We can survive that for one turn or so. Now, from memory, we didn't have anything particularly in the way of science. Our science output is a little bit low at the moment, purely because we're playing so wide at the start, but that will, once we've got some spies, we can start to steal some tech and we can catch that up pretty quickly. So these spearmen are just going to go and take those workers, which is great. I have a feeling we've got a catapult that's been made here, which is great, but then again our gold again is taking a bit of a hit, so maybe we should start to change what we're making for now. I think we don't really need another composite at this precise moment, and we can always go and build that again. So we need happiness and we need gold, and we need it stat. We need it as quickly as we can get it. So our options here are colosseums and they are markets. Now this place is generating a little bit of extra unhappiness as well from the courthouse, but you can see maintenance 4. That's going to be our last agenda. So I think the first thing we can do is to get our happiness, the gold problem sorted. I think that's probably going to be the best place to start. So I'm going to switch all of our production from the cities that we're making ourselves army to, and this library, yeah, science would be great, but if we start to lose gold too much, it's going to be worth very little to us. So again, I'm just going to build a market pretty much everywhere I can get. This Colosseum, yeah, well, Timok is our biggest place, so because it's got 5 citizens, if you remember, Colosseums actually will work because we can reduce the local, well, there's local unhappiness going on there. So okay, these settlers were headed over here. I think they were going to land on the deer, I believe, from memory. Now this composite can go and work his way over here. We want to get some visibility without necessarily standing in direct fire. The great general can make its way and it can rest on the composite, which is great. Our third composite is going to be coming along nicely. The spearman again is nice and on full health, so we'll get him to wait just alongside. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3 composites and a spearman. That's enough to start the attack, I'd say. Now this worker we stole. Did I set anything on fire when we attacked it? No, we didn't. That's great. So I'm going to get him to go and just improve this wine. Trime, we'll get him to continue to explore. Okay, that's about as far as we can go in that direction. So he's going to have to make the long way round and go around this continent and to the north. But what I might do is I might get him to automate, actually. I can't be bothered to control him every turn. Here we go. So let's press on. So 4 markets. Hopefully each one gives, I think, +1 gold at least, and 25% extra gold from these elephants. So that might give us a little bit to work with. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Okay, so Copenhagen is recovering itself. I'm not going to have to worry about any population production from any of my cities because, as you can see, we're pretty unhappy. So the growth has pretty much come to 0, but that's fine. Whilst I'm unhappy and whilst it is giving me negatives, actually you can see that, say, Madrid, the capital over there, 6 population. Capital of Ethiopia is also 6 population. Well, you can see maybe China is a little bit higher. China looks like it could be a bit of a threat to us in the future. But actually, when you add our population up across all of our cities, we've got a fair amount. So we're not doing too badly at the moment. It's more than just who's got the biggest, if you don't mind me using that phraseology. Now, our composites are going to come in. We're going to start bombarding from all sides. I mean, one option that we could have done is we could have kept Denmark alive at this point and sort of almost made him into stand army around him and effectively force him to give us stuff. But to be honest, a lot of the time it's more hassle than it's worth. Get these spearmen in. As you can see, I was a little bit non-optimal in the sense that I brought my great general in a little bit late there, but to be honest, at this point, it's not going to make too much of a difference. We're going to be fine. Okay, try him. As I said, I'm going to get him to explore. Can't be bothered to control him every turn. Oh, actually, look, there's a little coast path here that he can take part. That's not too bad. We can live with that. Okay, spearmen. Let's get him involved. There's no point waiting and healing him immediately. And this worker can he can start to build stuff. Actually, you can see the gold input's gone up a little bit now. Copenhagen has stopped being in open revolt with us. It's a little bit. It's beginning to give us a little bit of gold now, which is great. Let's take a look and see. 5.4 gold. That's pretty good. We can live with that. Settler. Again, it's probably not a good idea to be making more cities while we're so unhappy, but at this stage, we may as well just use him. There's no point killing a settler around doing nothing. Okay, so it seems like the city's returned fire and shot at our composite, but at 24 damage, he's going to have more than 4 turns to kill us. So actually, we can take a few hits at that sort of rate. Now I can shoot down this great general, which would be humorous to say the least. Ah, wonderful! We've got a city connection. That could have been why our gold was so low at that point. I often forget about this when a road is being built to provide a city connection between 2 places. And up until the point it's finished, you'll be taking gold loss from all of the tiles that make up the road, but you won't be getting any of the bonuses, so it feels like your gold is artificially low for a few turns. That's fine. Okay, now this composite, I could raise the land underneath and heal myself, but I don't want to raise it too much. I want to keep this city in sort of fairly decent working order. If I keep it nice and small, it might be worth keeping. Well, we'll see how it goes. Okay, again, I should have moved the general first. That was a little bit silly of me, but there we go. You know what? We might as well go for a safe attack, get myself some combat experience. We're not going to lose too much health by doing that. Okay, these workers don't know what to do with themselves anymore. At this point, I think just in the interest of keeping the game going, especially because I've got such a wide empire, I'm gonna get our workers to automate. It may not work in the long run. Often you find that they start to build improvements that maybe you wouldn't have done yourself. Putting lumber fields in where mines or quarries... Actually, that's probably not a good example. Maybe I'll spot one as the game goes on. But in the interest of not taking too long on the game, we will press forward. Okay, let's see where the city fires this time. Oh, he wants a peace treaty. Now, we could demand all his gold, but to be honest, I think at this point we may as well just take his city and wipe him from the game. One less person to worry about, really. Okay, so we shot the spearman this time. He's learnt his lesson. So, we'll continue to just upgrade where we can. You can see this composite again. I could choose to give him march or cover, so I could heal every turn, even though we're performing an action. That's really helpful. But again, I'm going to go for triple barrage because I can start to get the double shot upgrades, which are very, very handy. Okay, I'm just continuing to attack. See, these two composites, as you can see, are now level 4. I think this one is almost upgraded to level 5. These are our 2X Pathfinder composites. They are our star troops, really. Okay, which spearman should we get? This one is pretty close to getting a level, so we'll finish it off with this one. Oh, you see, look, Denmark, although we've killed him, he respects us for killing him. He's given us the title of Jarl. I quite like that, actually. Okay, so if I were to puppet this city, I'd give myself 6 unhappiness, which I can't be living with that at this precise moment. Normally I'd keep the city and puppet it, but in the interest of keeping our happiness up, I'm going to raise it just for now. It's going to put us into really, really bad unhappiness. For a little bit, we're going to get some uprisings, most probably, but we'll have to live with that for the time being. Now I can get our foot soldiers just to heal up. We can... Okay, Leonardus, you can just sit there for a second. Don't worry about you. And actually, I'm going to leave my settler there, and I'm not going to make a new city until we've burned this one to the ground. I think that's probably the best thing that we can do. Okay. Now, as you can see, this catapult was made, and there's not actually anyone to kill. So I'm gonna after spending about 5 turns bringing him to that front line, I'm gonna send him this way. Okay, so China doesn't like the fact that I have killed Denmark, but to be honest, I've stolen his land. Oh, and Ethiopia. They were our friends. And Spain. There we go. So, in terms of diplomacy, maybe that wasn't the best thing to do. But if you remember, Denmark, they started to insult us pretty much from turn 1. We were never going to be able to have a sort of nice relationship with them. I think I would have got annoyed with them at some point anyway. So that is fine. We can live with their negatives for now. They'll grow to forget what they saw given enough time. So we will do fine for now. I'm just going to make it build anything for now. In 2 turns, this place will be gone, so that won't be too much of a problem for us. Okay, we're just continuing to heal up our troops after that fight. Now our problem is that we've got a lot of army and we've got very little in the way of gold upkeep at this precise moment. So we're going to have to start to think about what we're going to do to get more gold. Now normally a wide empire is very good for gold generation. So we will just continue to sort of expand, make sure we're working all of the gold tiles where we can. This worker again, I'm just going to get all my workers onto automated for now. What I'm doing is I'm just going to leave all of my troops just sort of garrisoned in cities. We haven't gone for tradition, so it's not going to do anything particularly for us by garrisoning them, but we may as well just... It's a good place to leave them, if any.